stay a while and listen.
What is going on, my fellow nerds? Abrasive Otter here, and today we're going to be bringing a new series, the Stay a While and Listen series. These videos will be going over mechanical aspects of Diablo 3 that a lot of players do not know about or incorporate into their playstyle. These can really help make new builds or help some players out in terms of being able to play their builds to their max potential. If you like the video or the idea of the series, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll continue with the series. So today what we're going to be going over is Proc Co-Efficients and what I label as the Golden Rule of Diablo 3. This aspect of Diablo 3 is arguably the #1 aspect used by professional players in terms of making new builds. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first thing that we need to define is, what does it mean to proc? Well, the origins of the term proc are lost somewhere in the ether of gaming history, but a better synonym to associate it with is trigger. So proc an affix means to essentially trigger that affix into action using an order of action specific to activating it. In Diablo 3, the designers incorporated something called Proc Co-Efficients in order to balance certain skills proccing affixes better than others, such as damage over time AoE abilities versus single target one-hit abilities. So for instance, let's say we have an item that says that we have a 20% chance on hit that we're going to proc an affix that deals damage. And we decide that we're going to use an ability like Disintegrate on the wizard to proc that ability because over one attack it seems to be attacking like 6 times. So we have 6 times the chance to proc that item, right? No. Disintegrate has a proc coefficient just like every other skill in Diablo 3. And that proc coefficient equals 0.141 or 14.1%. What this means is that we actually have a 14.1% chance of 20% chance to proc that affix. So to calculate this, we take our item proc chance and convert it to a decimal, so 20% to 0.20, and multiply it by a proc coefficient on Disintegrate, which is 0.141. The number we get is 0.0282. If we multiply this number by 100, we will achieve our true percent chance on hit to proc said affix on the item, which comes out to 2.82%. So what we thought was going to be a sure thing to proc all the time really equates to only 2.82% of the hits I put on a target are actually going to proc that item's affix. But Blizzard, why you do this? I can't make really cool builds. Well, if by cool you mean completely busted, then yes. I mean, hear me out. Imagine the old school Flashfire Wizard using Explosive Blast and Wand of Woe, and we decided to put something like, I don't know, Myrnae's Tearweaver on it. And in 1 second with that build, we can apply 20 Explosive Blasts hits at maximum optimal gameplay. Myrnae's has a 15% chance on hit to strike an opponent for a pretty large amount of damage, so 20 times 0.15 comes out to 3. So I'd be able to proc Myrnae's 3 times with that way of thinking in 1 second. And that's not even a busted build. Imagine giving that sort of power to 10+ million players worldwide and saying, go have fun, kids! The build it's created would destroy the gameplay to where there's only one build from one character that would dominate by like thousands of times more damage than the next in line. So this balances that out kind of nicely. I'll leave a link for a chart that shows all the proc coefficients for every character with every skill and every rune on those skills in the description below. But just note that this chart, as far to my knowledge, is still relevant in terms of proc coefficients, but life on hit efficients are a totally different animal, and they change all the time. So this chart won't show those efficients correctly in terms of life on hit. So the next quick subject we're going to get into here before we're done is what I call the Golden Rule of Diablo 3, and that is procs can't proc procs. Geez, thing is like a tongue twister. Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. Procs can't proc procs? Yeah, it's about the same. So what does this mean? Well, let's say we're using something like Wreath of Lightning that states we have a 15% chance on hit to gain Wreath of Lightning that deals 1250% weapons damage as lightning every second to nearby enemies for 3 seconds. And we're like, booyah! Let's combo this with Fulminator that states lightning damage has a chance to turn enemies into lightning rods, causing them to deal 444 to 555% weapons damage as lightning every second to nearby enemies for 6 seconds. And then we're like, let's run Paralysis that states lightning spells have a 15% chance to stun all targets hit for 1.5 seconds. So I use Chain Lightning, right? Boom, Wreath is procced, and now my Chain Lightning and Wreath can proc Fulminator and Paralysis, and then boom, my Fulminator goes off, and I have lightning going frickin' everywhere, and I can stun everything near 100% of the time. Yeah! No. 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 Just stop. If you have something that says you can proc something based on hit, that hit must come from you. The source of damage to trigger a proc must come from you. Since Fulminator is doing the damage and Wreath is doing the damage, then they can't proc Paralysis because you are not dealing the damage, they are. You have to be the source of damage to trigger procs, nothing else. The only thing that disobeys this rule is mantled heal and hydras, but that's a discussion for another time. And this is the rule and tool that a lot of professionals use to make certain builds. So that's it for this episode of Stay a While and Listen. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Abrasive Otter, and as always, take it easy.